Father, this group has come together this evening to conduct business of the city of Granby. Father, let your blessing be upon it. Let the wisdom be with these who conduct, Lord, and let it be done in accordance and in the right way. In Jesus' name.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 6:01. Roll call, please.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here. Here. Okay. I do want to, before we get too far into this, I do want to say that we have set some public comment time guidelines. We have public comment at the end of our session. We've set it up for sign-ups. Over there, if you have any questions about what our guidelines are during public comment time, you can refer back to that. Basically, there is still 3 minutes as a timer, but we want to make sure that you guys understand that this board requires the public comment time to be focused on agenda items listed during this meeting. I wish to remind the public that your input is very valuable, and it'll be taken into careful consideration. However, it is not dialogue time. A meeting of the public board is not a meeting of the public. It is a meeting of our board that is held in the public. The purpose of this public meeting, the purpose of this public comment period is for the board to receive input from its community members on relevant and current issues. If you have any issues that you wish to share, or concerns or commentary on past events, you may feel that would be relevant to future issues, please feel free to call the Granby City Hall to set up a meeting with your local alderman, or email me personally at granbymayor@gmail.com. So basically, we're just asking that we stay on the agenda if you have a public comment, and if you have any other questions outside of that or any concerns about something that might have happened in the past, we'll address those outside of these meetings. Okay? All right, approval of the agenda as presented.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Bobby has made the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Doreen has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. Number 2, approval of the minutes, July 25th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from July 25th.
Okay, Doreen has made the motion that we approve the minutes for July 25th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dustin has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. Okay, guest speaker, Randy Joe Renfro with Splish Splash Car Wash. Please come to the podium, and if that's not on, will you turn it on, please? Thank you.
Okay. You guys have a paper in your packet from us yet?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to speak on behalf of S&J Enterprises that owns Splish Splash. We have worked for several months to try to figure out what would benefit our community for like our either city workers or the Granby Police Department for them to go through the car wash and get a discount. So we have set up a fleet car program, so you have to have a minimum of 4 cards, and then you must fill out a customer form just saying like how we're going to go, so if it gets billed to the city of Granby, or if it has a certain entity that it gets billed to, you need to know that. The bill would be paid every 30 days. The membership itself will cost $20 a year, but then each card would cost $10 as a one-time fee. So the minimum startup fee would be $60. The benefits of the fleet program would be a 25% discount. It would be supporting a local business, and the bill would be due every 30 days. So we're not going to be blowing up your guys' inboxes with bills every single time a vehicle goes through it. We'll mash it all into one bill, and a lot of that also depends like on your guys' fiscal year. So whatever your financial year starts, we would go off of that if that would help you guys. So down at the bottom, I did a breakdown and I did an example. So what we're pretty much doing is like if you do 4 cards, and then you did 4 washes a week, it would save you $32. So if you go through the car wash 8 times, doing a super car wash, it's going to pay for the membership itself, and it's going to pay for the cars. So down at the bottom, I did a total year savings. If you guys went through it, and after you take out the cost of the card and the membership, it would save $1,400 $1,476. Does all of that make sense?
Would the cards be tied to a specific car? You could only,
Well, not necessarily a card, it would be tied to a specific person. So like the chief would have his own card, all the other officers would have their own card, and that's because whoever's on duty and you guys get the bill, I want you guys to see who is going through the car wash. So if someone is running through the car wash 15 times, you know who it is because it is tied to a specific person. Does that make sense?
Chief, how often do you guys wash your cars?
Well, it depends on who it is. If it rains, well, for me, when it rains, yeah, but, then he'll wash his car once or twice a week. But, I mean, if we have something that we're being charged per wash or something like that, we'll definitely regulate it.
So as of right now, you guys just wash your own cars?
so how many vehicles do we have that would actually use it? I mean, we're talking the police, but also on this it states, fire engines, and I don't think we have any fire engines that have fit through there.
Or even like your city workers, so whoever's at the city barn, they have vehicles that need to go through there, or if there's equipment, we have a manual bay, so the equipment can be ran through as well.
So we would need a card for each of the individual street heads, I mean, the department heads,
Yeah.
along with the police officers.
Randy's not just the automatic, you know,
No, it would, yeah, so it would work on the manual bay, it would work on the automatic, and we have 2 manual bays. So like I said, if you pulled a trailer through that had a piece of equipment on it, or if they drove a piece of equipment up there, it would fit, the card would swipe, and on our card readers, we have a button. You press that button, and it adds time to the bay. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
And as you add the time to the bay, it increases the price of the wash.
Yes,
Okay. And then it would be 25% off of that wash?
yes, off the total.
Okay. How much do we spend a year washing vehicles now? Anybody have any idea?
Well, you said your guys use out of your pocket, right?
Right now, we are, yes.
that's what we do, right, you know, like.
So if you guys wash your vehicles, you do it all out of pocket?
Now, you guys have power washing equipment though, correct? Does your equipment give you the ability to utilize, you know, soap at the same time?
Yeah, it's not hot water.
Do you guys have hot water?
Yes.
So actually, we're looking at a minimum of 4 cards at $10 a card. The minimum startup of $60. A $20 a year membership. And then for each, like our patrol officers are gonna each have to have their own individual card. The fire chief would have to have his own individual card. Jim would have to have his own, so each time we get a card, we're racking up $10 there.
So that's if you guys need to know who's going through it. If you guys are comfortable with, you know, the police chief wants to be in charge of the card for the whole police department, then that, I mean, we can adjust that. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
But that also, I don't wanna send you guys a bill and you be like, well, the police department went through 20 times this month and the city went through it 10 times, but who's swiping the card? Does that make sense?
It does, but they could sign the card out, if the city clerk had the card, and they could just sign the card out and go and push it that way, and that way they would have a signature as for who washed what that day.
So if that is what you guys choose to do, I would probably prepare a document for our side of things saying that just taking the responsibility off of us for not knowing who the card is assigned to.
I think it gives us a lot to think about. I think we probably need to maybe do maybe a little bit of discussion on what we want to do and what the guys and the gals want to do.
So this is to benefit the city, so if you guys have a different proposition, or if you guys have different ideas, we'll look at it. I mean, like I said, we looked at this for several months, and about how we can make it benefit not just the PUD, but everybody at, like, that works within the city.
Right.
So we'd be open to looking at other things. This is just what we thought would make the most sense to connect the dots the best.
Right. That's a good proposal. Thank you.
Okay, I have something else that needs to be discussed. So,
Is it on this topic?
it's with S&J Enterprises. So when I delivered my application to be on tonight's agenda,
Mhm.
I asked if I needed to add this. They told me I did not, but I could speak about it when I was done with the proposal of the car wash.
Okay. So they did not have you write it down on here? They just said you could
No,
talk
I
about
called them back and asked if I needed to fill out new form, they told me I did not.
it? Okay.
Is it okay?
We'll just, yes, if that's what the office told you, yes.
Okay, so I have a packet that I would like to give you guys, is that okay?
Yes, you may approach.
Okay.
I think it was very polite of you. Most people don't ask.
Okay, so there's gonna be several things in this. I'm gonna go over it pretty quick, if you guys have questions, that's fine, but, so, Taz Electric, I'm over the billing for Taz. We completed work for the Granby ball fields, and an invoice was sent out to City Hall by mail and by 2 different emails on June 25th of 2024, and it was a Tuesday. Now, our bills, you'll see at the back, you're gonna see a copy of our check, and then you're gonna see a copy of the invoice in the back. At the top, you'll see it's dated for June 25th, 2024, and then down at the bottom, you'll see that the invoice amount is due 20 days from the date where there will be a 10% service charge fee added after 20 days. So, when the bill was sent out, it automatically sends reminders. And then the bill was late as of 7/15 of 2024. On 7/17, I called Sandra Jackson at City Hall to get on the agenda. And while I was on the phone with her, I just happened to mention that this bill was not paid and it was late. She said she would look into it for us. The following week, on Tuesday, July 23rd, I went into City Hall. I delivered my application to get on the agenda. That's when I asked them if I needed to add this as well. And I handed an invoice to Carrie at City Hall. I also let her know that the invoice was late and that the late fee would be charged and due. And the response I got was the late fee was kind of steep. And so, I just informed her that I didn't mail it. I emailed it to 2 different emails. Carrie did let me know that the emails were right. I read it back to her. She said, yes, that is Juana's email. So, on my end of it, I don't feel like there's an excuse for the bill not to be paid. Doreen did reach out and ask for us to remove the late fee, and her and I discussed that, and I felt like I would remove that late fee. And when I chose to do that, under my understanding, I was told that it was mailed out on the 22nd. And that's when they mailed out our check.
I'm not understanding. I want to ask a question because this check is dated for 7/1. How is it
That's my point.
mailed out at that point in time? Do you know, Carrie?
You guys do the mail every day.
So the check is dated for 7/1, it's posted, I have it right here in front of me, it's postdated for the 24th.
Yeah, what you have here,
Yes,
yes.
So,
I remember signing a check for Taz Electric quite some time ago.
No, I think didn't I call you on this?
Yeah, we had a discussion.
And then I found out that it already had been taken and went out, correct? Isn't that?
You said that you found that the check had been cut.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
had signed
looking
a
at
check
this,
for
it
this.
didn't mail out until after July 22nd. It got to Springfield on July 24th.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because I recall signing this check quite some time ago.
yes. So my point of this is our bills are due 20 days from when they're given. It says on there that it was dated on the 1st. There's no reason that we should have not received that check before the 15th.
Yeah, I'm not understanding what happened there. Yeah. Because when I'm handed a stack of checks, the invoices are connected to them, what I do is I sign the checks and I check the invoices, make sure it all matches up, and we move on. And I recall signing this check quite some time ago. That's why I was like, this is dated for 7/1, so I'm trying to figure out how it couldn't have.
We actually, we have another invoice that showed up. It was mailed out. First National Bank of Omaha, we have a bill that was sent 6/21, and we received a late fee on that, and that was supposedly due to the mail service. And believe me, I'm the last one that wants to say that. But that would,
And I understand that, that's why I mail them out, and that's why they get emailed. And when I see an email that's open,
right.
and it has been confirmed that it was a correct email, it is really, really hard for me to forgive late fees. Because this sounds horrible, but when we complete a job like that, our money is tied up in material. And so,
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't mind getting late fees, especially when I feel like it's on me, maybe I should have hand-delivered it. But when somebody confirms the email and says, yes, it is the correct email, then I see the check is dated for July 1st.
This check was signed and it was made earlier, so I'm trying to figure out exactly.
Well, and above the
How
check is
that
the envelope where it was
You did have a
postmarked
problem.
July the 24th.
Yeah,
Right there at the
well,
top. So, I mean, you got a copy showing the envelope where it actually went through the system.
But Sandra actually told her that it was mailed out the 22nd. So that means we are holding checks that shouldn't be.
That shouldn't be.
that. Well, I sign stuff weekly. So, and there would not be a reason why a check wouldn't get signed within a week. I live 3 blocks from here. I mean, I go out of town, I was out of town last week, but I mean, we also have a second signer, which would be Doreen. So there's never a reason for us not to have a signature on these checks to get them sent out. So I can't take that one as a reason.
Well,
I'm
we
sorry.
also have another late fee this month. It's 2 months in a row, we got charged late fees on
On
bills
which one?
that didn't get paid. It was on Lowe's business card, just sent out July the 23rd, and we have a $36 late fee on it.
That one says check lost and mail late fee.
Yeah, and that's.
So was there a,
Did they? Good. Well, why did they not,
That check still hasn't been went to them.
But what was the date on that check?
I mean, it's happened to me before too, with stuff that I've mailed out.
It's
And
happened with
usually
my work
they
stuff
will
before from
go
Brandon.
ahead and
Checks didn't
they will
get
not
put.
charge you the late fee if it hasn't.
They didn't mail it till the 22nd, that's on the.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I literally opened my mailbox on the main street back here. I don't know if you guys saw it, I put it on my Facebook page. It was mailed to the post office. It was a city bill, City of Granby's bill, mailed to the post office, and it was in my box, like, for my business. And oddly enough, I mean, it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen, but literally a mail person delivered the post office's mail in a different box. And I'm like, you work for this place, how can you mistake this? So,
You go out late.
So what are you looking for? As much as you're probably enjoying this discussion, what are you requesting?
thank you,
I
Dustin.
would like the late fee paid. So before, when we discussed, I didn't.
And how much is that?
It's gonna be $84.14. And if that would have been dated when we discussed it on the 22nd, that would have been avoided, but because I feel like the check was held, there's not, I mean, it's postmarked for the 24th, it didn't get lost for, I mean.
Does this require a
postmarked on
motion?
the 24th,
Does this require a motion?
Sure.
Because I don't think it's an outrageous request
Yeah,
personally,
okay.
so. I
How
make
much
a
was that amount?
I make a motion that we pay the 10%,
$84.
$84.14
I'll
for the
second it.
late.
I
Okay.
will say that's gonna irritate me, that is coming out of the Parks Fund because it wasn't our error. Just gonna put that out there.
Okay, Dustin has made the motion to pay the late fee to Taz Electric for $84.14. Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. Okay.
I wouldn't push so hard for it, but in 2021, we had a very similar situation happen, and I have that check with me too, if you guys wanna see that one. But if we're gonna take care of it, I'm good.
Okay,
I appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
thank you.
Thank you guys so
Thank you,
much.
Randy.
Is there anything else you need from me?
No.
I can turn the head out, so.
Okay. And for future reference, Carrie, do you know which person you spoke with in the office that stated that you didn't need to add that onto this? Okay.
Hey, just out of curiosity, on your fleet car program, you've got how much savings it is, but there's no how much it would be annually for X number of cars. In your
Everything that I figured that off was off of 4 cards.
so 4 cars.
Yep,
What's a normal wash cost?
$8 if you do the super. I believe he has that 5, 6, 7, 8, so the lowest one would be $5. And then the manual, I believe, is $1.25 to start it, and then as you add time, it's per 25 cents.
Do you guys have any idea how much you normally spend at the car wash? Jim? Okay.
When you say, is that, how many cars? You said, 10, no, 10.
You just wash your
10.
truck.
One for 10? Okay.
Yeah, so that's, you're good. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
if you guys can tell us how many cars we're talking about per week, that would help us decide. You know what I mean? I mean, that would help us come up with a number, because right now we got no number. Just says how much the savings would be for a random 4 cards, so.
Would you
How
guys
many-
utilize the cards? Would you utilize them?
I use them now once a week.
Okay.
But my truck, everything else is washed at in-house, because we have
Yeah.
hot water and soda and stuff.
Right.
I just take mine up for Sunday.
So how many vehicles, Vic? Yeah, for you, one? Just one?
Yeah.
But
Chief, you
just,
got
just
what,
to make
five?
it
Those white
clear.
trucks now.
3?
How often do you wash those white trucks now? Never.
I was gonna say,
We're
just to
not
make it
counting
clear,
those.
bulk doesn't make it cheaper per
Yeah.
se. I tell my husband all the time, if it's on sale, if you weren't gonna buy it already, it doesn't make it a deal. So, that, just make that clear.
So we're talking about 9 vehicles, because Mona has one too, right?
Yeah.
This will be a good discussion to have.
Later.
Okay, and then before we move off this completely, Carrie, when someone brings an issue like that to the office, please do make sure they go ahead and add that to the agenda packet and give us some information on it, because I feel like we were a little caught off guard, okay? Thank you. Okay, guest speaker number 2, Wendy Elder, bids for Veterans Park.
Back this fall, I applied for a grant, that's my primary function, I think, in the city, with T-Mobile. Unfortunately, us and Anderson didn't get the grant. Part of the grant was to put a ramp in the pavilion. Some of you who may have been attending Old Mining Town Days saw the stage of the stairs walking up to the
Then, what's the $2,500 labor fee here?
For his guys.
That's for the guys to do the concrete, because he can't pour the concrete by himself.
So are you asking the board to go ahead and do this without the grant since we didn't, we weren't granted it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking for other grants, but I just don't know, you know, safety reasons that pavilion was built. After talking to a couple of citizens, probably like in the 40s or 50s. So, I don't know how many people actually saw the state of the stairs, or has seen the state of the stairs.
I will say we're not planning to have the event there next year, so we're not gonna be, and we have, like the fence at the park, the ballpark, it's in horrible shape. Somebody could get seriously injured there. We have a lot of projects that could be worked on, so just saying,
Yeah, no, I know this.
It's
is-
a-
and
it's a-
again, I'm not there every day, so. I
Yeah.
don't use it, but I think-
Have you talked to Harry S. Truman, when they talk about those TAPS grants, those are the mobility grants, those should have opened up towards the end of summer?
No,
Is
I
that-
don't, but I can.
Okay.
I think
That's a tough one too, because you do have to have a plan ahead of time before you can even apply for them. I know that we've talked about that with sidewalks, and in the end, they told us, well, we need an engineer's plan for that entire thing. And that was, kind of blew us out of the water in the very end, so.
And this is what we didn't have to spend engineering dollars, because there's another grant that I'm working on that is a 20% match if the city decided to go for that one, and we do have to have engineering, which can be a part of that 20%, but it's upfront, you know, you don't get anything.
Yeah, this is our second time applying for that T-Mobile grant and not receiving it, so. But it's always worth a try.
They do excellent work. They really do. My thoughts on it, though, this is my thoughts on any time you go to get a bid, you don't just get one bid. I mean, I used to.
An estimate.
An estimate,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
What
If we,
we can do, and I'm glad to do that, I just didn't want to go ahead, I just had him write out what
to
he
give us an
told me,
idea,
so you can have an idea.
yeah.
Any other thoughts on that, council?
I do agree, it's something we need, and it'd be great if we could get a grant.
Yeah.
to
And I
help
know
us with
that conversation started when we were discussing with ARPA funds, but we all know that
Yeah,
that has,
so that kind of put a damper on several things.
yeah.
Well, they even goes back and before that, with the, right, with the grants and such, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of mobility issues throughout town as far as like ADA compliance. It's just not there. I really wish
Well, it sounds
we could get it.
It's yes, ADA compliance, but also just for,
Citizen safety, got it.
if I remember, there was a orange cone. No?
What? No, there shouldn't be. I don't think it's actually loose or anything like that, right? When you're walking up them, I haven't, unless I'm
I
mistaken.
know that a railing would be very helpful, but it's still not gonna make it compliant.
No. Okay, thank you for the update. We appreciate it. Are you gonna be sticking around for a bit? We just have, we're gonna discuss that, a monthly comprehensive economic development strategy in a few minutes. Would you mind?
Wendy,
Okay.
I would like to thank you for all the hard work you're doing to get us these grants. Thank
For
you. I
sure.
know it takes a lot of time, and we appreciate it.
I probably ought to get on to this, update that, but.
Yeah, you sent a really nice email. Man, you're working hard. I know you are. And I'm sorry that sometimes, I mean, you work really hard and you still don't get anything, but we do see what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And we appreciate you.
Yes, definitely. Okay, old business, mayor salary. So I was tasked with the task to call around and ask a few things about mayor salaries. Right now, currently, as it stands with taxes taken out, the mayor makes $213 every 2 weeks. So it's like $426 every month. So I called around to several people. Cassville, their mayor makes $190.18 per meeting. They meet once a month, so that's an average of $2,282 a year. Their population is 3,212. Goodman, $300 a month, which is, their population is 1,256. Sircoxie, they make $100 monthly, which is actually $50 per meeting, and they have 2 meetings. Their population is 1,366. Diamond's population is approximately 857, and they currently make 8,950 currently they make 8,295, which is bumping up to 8,950 in April. I can go back, did I do that too fast? Anybody have any questions on that? It seems to me like there are some days I think, wow, this mayor pay isn't hardly anything. And there's other days where I think, it's an elected position where you don't know who you're going to get in, and we're not necessarily qualified for a job. You are voted in by the people, and you do the best you can do. So when it comes down to it, I think the pay that you guys pay your mayor at the moment is competitive compared to some of the other places. Personally, I wouldn't recommend increasing it, but that's up to you guys. Council, what's your thoughts?
So based on what you found out, it's, aside from Diamond, it's the highest one?
Aside from Diamond, it is the highest.
So we're in line with,
I compared to Cassville, Goodman, and Sir Coxey and Diamond. Those are the ones I called. So, any other thoughts? Okay, so we're gonna let that drop off. All right, new business, bills to pay, balances on hand.
this is just curiosity on my part. Blevins Asphalt Construction, alternator for the sludge truck. That wasn't, that's, okay. I was gonna say.
What is it?
Why did we pay Blevins for, okay.
I fixed it on there, but it wasn't on
Okay, no problem.
So what is the correction? That's just not a charge?
there. It wasn't
No.
11, no. The memo is the only thing that was changed.
We were having a time with the bank reconciliation. It was an interesting mess.
I was just curious. I was wondering how that tied in.
Karen, I'm glad you're here because my question is, we paid to have a, Keith Gwynn do a open close for a grave. So back to our previous meetings conversation. Why are we paying that and why is the cemetery not paying that?
Because you guys get the check from Parks Funeral Home to cover that. You're not paying anything for it. We get it from burial. You're making money on it.
Yeah, we get $600 each time that
Okay.
they do that. And then-
Okay. That was not clear to me, thank you.
Hey, the outer fence that goes around the cemetery, is that ours?
That was something that they put up through the cemetery funds with the,
And it got damaged? I'm assuming it got
They got it
damaged. 'cause
fixed, though.
Yeah, it's that. Is there plans to have it fixed?
It's fixed.
Oh, did it get
Yeah.
fixed? Okay, cool.
It's fixed. I noticed it this morning. I walked there.
Okay, I've got another question about the Verizon bill. It says for phones and MiFis. Where are all the MiFis? Because we could have used one all summer long at the ballpark and never had one available.
There is one.
It was not here.
Hold on, if I remember that correct, you had one, and then Lana used it because she had to take it with her to use her computer. I think we had this discussion already. I remember it.
I remember the
Yeah.
discussion, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, are
and-
we paying for them if they're not working?
No, we've actually, I think even Chief was working with Verizon the other day on getting them all going, correct?
We got 3 new ones because ours were old, so our Wi-Fi runs the onboard computer in our patrol cars.
Well, this is going back to, if we have equipment that's not working, we need to get them fixed. We don't need to be paying a bill for equipment that's not working.
Yeah, she does have the park one. I do remember this conversation because we had that in a council meeting.
But she, why weren't we able to have it though? That's my question. Because Christy was using her phone, or we were using our phones down there to keep the Wi-Fi going.
Yes, I remember this conversation because that one broke and it needed to be replaced, is my understanding. And then we talked about when you use the square, that you can actually run them through without having the Wi-Fi.
Well, that was a conversation that we had after we'd used our own personal
Right, because
phones
it was
for
brought
that.
to the council.
It should
Right.
just have already, I think the problem is it's for Parks and, if it was supposed to be for Parks and Recs, it shouldn't be going home with somebody.
I think she needed it at the moment as the,
For 2 months?
I don't know if she still has it or not. Are you needing it? Are you missing it?
No, not now.
I'm just saying,
It was
for the whole month, the whole summer months, we could have utilized it, and somebody has it at their personal home. That's not ethical.
For some reason, I thought it was towards the end of the season.
No, it was all season.
We used it one time.
Is that,
We used it one time. The first game.
because,
On the phone, trying to get it, they sent a new one, she couldn't get that one, then it was a big struggle for quite a while, she was trying to get it going.
well, I know Chief was on the phone for 3 hours. Was it yesterday or the day before? 3.5 hours
For
here.
3 equipment, how long have they not been working?
How long, mine are working, we just renewed them because they were old.
Okay, thank you.
So we're, yeah, I'm trying to look and see when that was actually brought to my attention. But
Well,
I
because
get-
I just
for
noticed
some
it with
reason, I thought it, since it
because
was
it
the
said
end of the season.
Verizon and MiFi's, that's what triggered me to
Yeah.
ask.
Well, let me look and see when, because I know what happened, like immediately, I sent you guys a message afterwards to help you
You did. You're
utilize
right.
those.
And then my last question is the Wood Motor Company, what vehicle was that for?
Wood Motor Company would be, my white patrol car.
Okay, okay,
Not mine, but not the chief's car, but the, smart patrol car.
okay, thank you.
The card processing we discussed on June 26th.
Right, and like I said, that just triggered me to ask because if they're not working, why are we paying? And why are we, I mean, I'd be calling and saying, if my equipment's not working, I want a discount or something.
Yes, I agree on that for sure.
Just be proactive.
Carrie, where is our overall numbers for the accounts? We don't have those in our packet. Yes. That's water leaks.
Is it this one?
Sideways.
I'm not used to it looking like that, so I don't see it. She handed me her department head report. She handed me her department head report. Was it in that? Okay. I do not have it. Do you guys have the balances on here?
No,
So you can look at them?
Account balances.
Yeah.
that's right here.
Okay. Well, just making sure you guys have that so that you can vote on it. Oh, no, it's okay. I've already seen them, but
I have one. Yeah.
there you go.
47 pages.
Yeah.
So Carrie, the cash in the bank, anything that says cash in the bank means that's available at any time, right? So for rainy day stuff, right? So that's outside of the CDs. Okay.
I was noticing on the income expenses, we have the fire department's $0.25, we have the parks 1/8 of a cent, police force, 1/4 of a cent. Where does it show the cemetery that we get in? It doesn't have its own account?
Get a report, or we do it every time we get the bill.
It doesn't have its own account. It shows it's not the same line? Okay. Thank you.
I organize it a little bit better on researching. Mm-hmm.
Make a motion that we approve the bills to pay and balances on hand.
I'll second that.
Okay, Doreena's made the motion to approve the bills to pay and the balances on hand. Christie has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. Okay, department head reports.
I have a couple mileage reports that I don't know who they go to.
Anybody have any idea?
This is recycling, because this is Region M on it. The other one doesn't have a vehicle on it, but it's still Sam's, Lowe's, Walmart, Sam's, Lowe's. Okay.
Which one is that? I didn't see it.
It's this one, 1827. It's
I do like the way the PD's is printing out. That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It very much is.
That, computer program they've got, very, very helpful.
And that's what we had discussed in the past, is those need to be turned on. So yes, thank you for making sure those are turned on for us.
If we have any question of where those cars are at any given time, dispatch can map those cars where they're at, where they've gone, at any given time.
And that was a safety issue in the past, so yes, thank you. Quick, easy report, and your guys don't even have to type it all in. That's great, or write it all up.
Chief Murphy, you guys were busy, weren't you? You guys were busy, weren't you?
Hey, who has to come in at 2:30 a.m. when that alarm goes off, Victor?
Whoever gets the call first, whoever answers it, sometimes it just keeps going down the line. I can say they're proficient at answering it, but I don't get it. If they don't answer it, then it comes from me.
I found that interesting.
Well, the mayor used to get it too.
Don't get any ideas, Victor.
What's an orange at 2:30 in the morning to answer? It sounds like two of them need to fight.
My phone's on silent at night.
You just never know the code.
Hey, Chief Williams, on the mileage report, although it is very pretty, like all the cars except for one always has a negative 168,000 miles, negative 71,000 miles.
The way the program's set up is you log into that computer with, the username and password. Say, for instance, I come in the morning, I've got a username and password, I log in, and it automatically drops down and makes me put in my mileage. Okay, if we have a computer issue where it shuts it down and we have to reboot it, then it's asking for prints out that negative 167,000 thing.
Oh, I see,
So,
okay.
yeah, so, working on that. The Wi-Fi is being updated, and we're also updating our computers, our onboard computers should take care of that, hopefully, in some time.
But it is interesting to see, like, I mean, daily, it states 16 miles, 39 miles. I mean,
No,
each
yeah,
one,
that's-
you know, with,
That's way cool.
yeah, with the mistakes in there, that, but, I mean, it is very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
that mistake, 150,000 miles one day.
Yeah, it's a lot of driving. It's a good start for sure. That's definitely a change for the positive for us. I don't know if you guys noticed too, I laid the water on here. It was not typed up just yet for you, and so I had to leave it on your thing. There was 16 water leaks, I think, well, and a total of 2,500 or 751 repairs.
Hey, Victor, I noticed on your maintenance and repairs of the motor, that, can you want to talk about that, what happened?
Yeah, we had a motor rebuilt, and we put it back into service, checked the amps, you know, voltage, everything on it, it was good. Put it into service, and then over the weekend, we came back, and it had tripped a breaker, and we found that the motor had burned up. And really what we think it is the wiring that went from the building out to the basement where this motor was at is undersized, and it had deteriorated over time. Had Michael pull all that wiring out, we'd seen where it got hot throughout the conduit. So we put in a heavier gauge wire, and we're ready for a new motor.
So the motor got
It
toast?
shot-
Yeah,
it
okay.
burned it up.
So
What's the cost of that motor gonna be?
So is the $2,500 that's on there for the first rebuilt motor?
Yeah, it was for the rebuild.
And so now there's gonna be a whole nother charge for a brand new
Yeah,
one?
whole new charge, yeah. It just, we got looking at what the manufacturer recommended as far as gauge wire, and this was put in back in 2009. I wasn't here. I mean, you usually don't look at what
Sure.
electricians are putting in, but it was not a heavy enough gauge wire.
So when we get the new motor, we shouldn't have any more issues with it? Okay,
We'll recheck everything. I know we did it the right way, check voltage, and draw on it. It was running fine. But over time, things would get hot and
sure, sure.
burns up.
I appreciate your report.
I mean, I hate it happens.
Now that's the one that the guys kind of helped us out with too, because they happen to have those cranes and
Yeah.
stuff there. Yeah.
So luckily, having the contractors out there saved us a couple $1,000 in renting
Yeah.
material handler. So they can pull those out. But still, it's just something I don't like seeing happen.
Do you guys have anything else to add to your reports?
Not only have a report, but just let everybody aware that MoDOT will be putting shoulders on North Main Street and Grammy Minor Road, putting yellow flags and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna add, those orange flags all the way down?
So it's gonna be shoulders on. At first, they talked about 6-foot shoulder. I think some areas are gonna have 6-foot shoulder, and some of it's gonna be narrower, is what they were saying today.
When's that gonna happen?
They called in for locate, so it should be soon, yeah.
So they're gonna take away our ditch?
Yes.
That's what I was
Yes, I'm
get-
tired of mowing that. I'm fine with that. Come
What-
on with
how's-
it.
What's that gonna do for us on drainage? That's my first question.
It should, you're gonna have to clean the ditches out, so it should help.
Will they put, they're not just gonna cover it up. We're gonna have
Oh, yeah, that-
whistles or whatever?
Yeah, or I don't know on that, but they'll probably just move the ditches back to the back of their easement, the right of way.
Have they provided us anything that shows what they're going to do as far as like,
It's changed twice, so just by word of mouth, but
okay,
we tried to speak to the survey, they got survey crew out there now that's setting their boundaries and stuff.
Is it going on both sides of the road? Okay.
This is outside the city limits?
No.
no, it's down here, like on.
B Highway.
And when you drive home, look
Yeah,
at
I'm
the
going to.
lines and stuff, yeah.
30 feet from center line would be the edge of the back edge of the shoulder.
6 feet's a lot.
Thank you. I make a motion that we approve the department head reports.
I'll second.
Okay, Doreen has made the motion to approve the department head reports. Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. Okay.
And who got the real comfy seat from Tractor Supply?
Number 3, memorial for Judge White. We have all been very sad about the loss of Judge White, and I was hoping that this council could entertain an idea of what we can do to honor him. He was a pillar in our community. He was our judge for a long time. He was good friends with lots of people. He's been around all his life. I would entertain ideas from this council, anything you might want to come up with just to honor him.
I don't have any idea what we can do in that respect, but I think it needs to go in the Veterans Park.
Okay,
Whatever
so
we do, I think we
something
need
to
to put it
veterans.
in the Veterans Park.
Okay.
Well, we actually, I don't know who has it, but last year, when the Veterans Park was getting organized, we talked about doing the bricks and making it, because we wanted, the veterans, I'm sure, want something over there. And we were talking about doing the brick sales where people could buy a brick and then we would have that there. I think if we could proceed with that, we could do something over there as well for him.
Mark, you're in that veterans group. Do you know who might happen to have that information? Because it was, yeah, about the bricks. It was passed on to one of them.
I think it was Steve.
We plan on doing something for him anyway.
Mhm.
And I was going to ask if another time to write, I wasn't sure, but the veterans group, a couple of veterans groups are in the works of doing something.
Okay.
And I'll present that when the time is
Well, we'd like to do something in cooperation with you all as well, if that works.
up. You mean in the funds, from the fund side of it?
Yeah, if we want
In
to, like, if we
conjunction
can,
with, yeah.
if we could get that brick fundraiser started,
Well, we're not, so we're gonna do something immediately. We're not gonna wait for fundraiser.
okay,
We're gonna do a bench or something, put out there with a couple planners on either end, or something. We have to meet on Thursday. We've already kind of thrown this around different options. We heard through the grapevine something's gonna happen tonight, or discussion tonight about some kind of memorial. So we were waiting for the discussion tonight to see what the city council was gonna do, and then we were gonna piggyback off of that to decide what we're gonna do.
okay.
Because the veteran group is separate from the city, yeah, we agreed to work with the city, but we're not gonna wait for a fundraiser. We're gonna take funds out of a couple accounts now to get it done, and we can fundraise later and recoup those funds.
I agree with you on that.
We're
definitely.
not gonna procrastinate, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen quick.
Okay.
So that's our plan, but I was gonna talk
Can-
about that for an open discussion.
After you guys have your meeting, would you guys mind to bring it back to us at the next council meeting so that we can assist you?
Sure.
Okay, so if you guys could meet up,
So,
just,
so
I'm
you
sorry.
want me to ask my question now, or wait for the three
Well,
minutes?
we're discussing
Oh,
it,
we're
so come
discussing
up.
it right now.
So my question is, what do we need? Is there any process or paperwork that we need to fill out in order to position or erect something in the Veterans Park for Speedway? Like, we want to put a bench out there, or if we want to do this brick thing, do we have to fill out any paperwork, or can we just come to council?
Just have to approve it.
You come to the council, present it, and then we discuss it. There has never been any protocols for anything like that,
Okay.
to be honest with you, yes. So. Okay, if this is not directly about Steve White, it's not something we're gonna discuss at this moment. Is this directly related to Steve White, Judge Steve White?
Okay, so we have a meeting on Thursday next week. Yes. With the,
Veterans group.
with the Mining Town Area Veterans Group,
Okay,
Thursday next week. And then we're going to meet with the Combat Vet Motorcycle Association that's Sunday.
oh, okay,
So by then, we will then get together somehow, and the next council meeting, we can go present something.
great, thank you. I would entertain a motion to put this on the next council meeting. 22nd.
I make a motion to to put on the agenda for the next council meeting on the 22nd, the discussion about a memorial for Steve White in Veterans Park.
Okay, Dustin has made the motion to move this to the 22nd August to discuss the memorial for Steve White.
I'll second it.
Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you for your input on that, Mark. We appreciate it. Okay, number 4, monthly comprehensive economic development strategy plan. Wendy, would you mind to come back up here for a minute? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Wendy and I both attended, well, and she knows, she knows what, I mean, you know this. This is what we worked on we went to not classes, we went to a couple of meetings that was discussing what are the needs in the communities around us. Their focus was Newton County as a whole. And so they were doing what you call a comprehensive economic development strategy for your whole Newton County. I've noticed that the city of Granby has no strategy plan to move forward in the future. I mean, we don't have any plans for economic growth. We don't have any plans for business growth, any plans. Honestly, we just kind of, deal with it as it comes at us. I would really like to entertain creating a comprehensive economic development plan. You can hire people to do this, and it'll cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. Do you? And that's what?
That's generous.
Not if you hire it.
No, I mean, that's like.
Lowballing.
Oh yeah, that's a low ball. Yeah, but help me out here. Do you think that that's something that we can manage to do without hiring an outside entity?
I think so. I mean, I think there's enough good leadership within the city of Granby, people who have worked on committees such as that before, that probably could help guide it. We would have to pay a little bit of money to anybody to do that. I think you never got to a point where you had to have somebody do a mediator situation because nobody could agree on anything. But I think in general, most of the people who are committed to seeing Granby move forward into the future are only looking out for what's best for Granby, so could probably come together on a committee to do that.
Okay.
Whether it is, some of the stuff that was already brought up, from the other various local counties, and, all of them were pretty much, had varied background, from people who were from cities, from schools, from businesses that were on this large committee, and pretty much everybody came down in agreement on that, on what to do. And the whole point of the strategic thing is now the Truman Group is going to come up with a 1-year, 5-year, 10-year plan for the whole region overall, of southern, southwest Missouri, basically. So ours will then kind of take that and narrow it down to how specifically it would work towards Granby. What do we want to see in 1 year? What do we want to see in 5 years and 10 years? And have a roadmap instead of being reactionary, being proactive.
And they provided us with a lot of really good information, a really good guidance. They've given us kind of things that can help guide us. So what I would suggest is, and you can, like I said, you can hire this out in the future if you want, but I would really like to suggest we go with some of these meeting dates here and we just create a bare bones plan that we can put before you guys over time. And then you guys can say, yes, this is on the right track. No, this is not. We need to change it. You know what I mean? So that we can at least have somewhat of a plan that says, this is Granby, this is where we're headed.
This is a vision for what we want to see Granby.
Is the Truman Group the group that helps with the grants and things?
Yeah.
So, wouldn't it be, when are they coming out with their plan?
I think we met, 2 weeks ago? So I would say probably in the next couple of weeks, they'll hash out this final paperwork and give it back to us, so then we would have something to work on from there.
So I would suggest that we don't meet before we get that, because if you nest our stuff with their stuff, then the money will flow.
Well,
We do have that, what, do you have what I was just holding? So I
right,
can-
they do have, I mean, they have the overall list from all the counties of what, the
But it-
vision.
It's
is-
broken into county, like our county,
Right,
Newton
our
County.
Yeah. And then opportunities and then things that can threaten those opportunities. But basically, higher on the list was education, the pride of the community, doing cultural events, gathering spaces, volunteerism, recreation, arts, and cultural opportunities, looking at ways to bring in businesses, working on infrastructure, seeking higher wage companies, ensuring safety and low crime, support your small businesses, support local, and entrepreneurial spirit. That was Newton County's main focus.
So what I've done here is I just kind of on this, because I have a comprehensive, just a meeting date and agendas, thought maybe we could use this. Parks, streets, streets and sidewalks, economics and housing. We know that those are some of our needs in there. We know that from our community, what we've been in, we pay attention. Those are some of the weaknesses, right? And so I thought maybe if we could kind of get a discussion on those going. Yes, we can use the county's plan, but I hate to keep putting it off, though. I mean, we've had people 2 years ago come and say, you guys need an economic plan. And then here we are, we still don't have a plan. We're showing up to these meetings and we're learning that if you don't have a plan, you don't go very far. So I'm just trying to get it moving forward. But if you guys want to wait, that's fine. I wouldn't recommend it. I feel like we're always waiting.
So do you feel like we need to get a group of people together that are interested in sitting down and discussing these needs and coming up with?
Already?
Do what?
What about, isn't there a group already doing this, the economic development group?
Making a plan for the city?
Well, of growing things,
Is Grow Granby not working on the economics?
Barry, does your group work on housing?
I'm just saying that
No?
But
You don't-
their
they're not in
economics,
economic development.
They work with just business. You are working to bring business into town specifically, correct? So when you're talking about parks, I mean, guys,
I'm just saying, that was what I wanted to clear up, because it's, both of the names say economic development, so I was like, okay, well.
But I personally, I wouldn't say we need a committee. I'm committeed out, guys. I don't think we need to say who's gonna show up for this. I think that we just need to say, okay, August 22nd, before the next meeting, you know, whoever wants to come in from 4 to 5, comes in, this is what we're talking about, and we're gonna come up with a small plan. It doesn't have to be totally formal, it just needs to be moving in the right direction. Every year we stop planning or we don't plan, just we keep floating. I'm not,
well, your times are when a lot of people are at work. I don't get off work until 4:30. I wouldn't make it for a meeting like that.
okay.
And that's probably gonna affect several people. The time, basically, you're just saying we just need to get together and brainstorm. Just sit down and say, okay, this is what our town needs, this is where we're wanting to see our town move, and how are we gonna do it?
Yes, and you can get input from people all around. You don't have to have 50 people in a meeting to make a plan. You can get input and bring it into the plan as you go. You get what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
so I'm not saying, I don't think it needs to be set in the evening so that we can have a slew of people show up personally, because I think what you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna end up having the same mess that we've had in the past. John Newby brought in people, you've got people over here saying, no, we don't wanna do that, we don't wanna do that, we don't wanna do that. And all it turned into was nothing getting done. And I'm not trying to be rude, but that's really what, I watched it happen. So, there was like 20 people at that meeting.
I mean, I know we haven't, lived here, back here for long, but I did follow the news and what was going on back here, even when we didn't live, here. And over a decade ago, Neo Show formed, basically that. And I'm not saying we need to grow like Neo Show or be like Neo Show, but you can tell a difference of where they were 20 years ago as to where they are now. They formed a group, they had a vision, there was, okay, we want to do this within a year, we want to do this in 5 years, 10 years. They had a trajectory vision plan. Whether they made all that happen, I don't know, but you can definitely see a by any means. And no, we don't have the money that they do or all that, but you can also scale it to make it tailored to Granby. And that's been some discussion, you know, yes, would Truman like to come in here and us pay them several thousands of dollars to do that?
Yeah.
Yes, they would. Do we have that? No, we don't. So, that doesn't mean we still can't have a direction which we'd like for Granby to go, business-wise, economic-wise, doesn't just include business. It's also, you know, the infrastructure of the town, the schools, working with the schools. Because you can tell a big difference in Neosho. Yes, they run a lot of housing, but they also updated schools as they went along. They didn't have huge growing pains like you see in some communities that when you start working on infrastructure, you get people in there, then your schools are behind.
And even on that though, you wouldn't have the city official sitting down making plans for the school. What you'd do is you'd have a city official that goes and says, okay, what is your school plans? Where are you going with this in 10 years, 5 years, 10 years? And then you would incorporate it back in with your plan so that maybe everybody's moving in the same direction. But you basically need people working, the networking, going to these things and bringing all the information back. You can't possibly think that you're going to have everybody sitting in a room all together at once to create everything. It's just not going to happen, right? And unless I'm...
No, I mean, no, I don't. Sometimes, I think maybe when you're working on a project such as what Mining Town is, yes, you want to try and bring in as many people as you can to help, so it's not so taxing on just a handful.
We had 4 or 5 people.
Exactly. So I can see situations like that where each one of those people want to get 2 or 3 more people to help. But when you're working on a vision that, I can see where you want to take maybe 100 ideas and then narrow it down to those 100 people tell 10 people, this is what our main focus is.
Well, engage
Those
what
10
people's
people-
interest is and what their focus would want to be
Right.
on.
And
Right.
then focus it down from there. I'm not saying you want one person to tell the city what they're going to do, not at all.
No.
Right.
But, I think, in my opinion, the way it had been done before, where it was growing and growing and growing, we got to the 3rd and 4th meeting, and we were now coming up with a whole new circle of ideas, and we
Yeah,
never
we didn't focus on one.
focus it on one.
No, it was so...
Music for Main Street, which,
Speakers got
so,
that. In empty buildings,
yeah.
yeah. So,
That's basically, you know, Truman's focus, I think they probably got a grant, to conduct that study. Some of the grants are just about conducting studies. I've personally not gone after any of those grants because I feel like grants that you go after should be for something actual,
Tangible.
tangible.
but basically you have leadership, you have your grant writers. We're going to these classes and learning this stuff. We should be applying it within our community, and if we're learning it, that's great, and we're helping them create their stuff, but we don't have our stuff. So that's why I'm suggesting it. You guys can think on it if you don't want to have, meetings this early or what have you. I'm game to discuss it more in the future. I'm gonna keep that if you don't mind. So, but that's just an FYI. Any other questions, council, on that, concerns? Okay.
I think it'd be helpful if you invited certain people to come to these meetings instead of just saying, hey, everybody show up. But I think we need to get people that we know that would be involved and continue to help that process move forward.
Do you have to live in the city limits to be part of that?
Do what?
Do you have to live in the city limits to be part of that group?
I don't believe you would have to.
It's not a committee. It's actually a plan for the city. Basically, what I'm proposing is that you have a document that says these are our goals and this is the direction we're going in. So the next person who sits in these seats has a plan on which direction they're going. It seems like the pendulum swings this way because somebody has an agenda, and then the pendulum goes this way because their friend has an agenda. It needs to be some sort of streamlined plan that says our city's going to move in this direction. We need better housing. We need more housing. We need to make sure that we're focused on building businesses and all that. And it can't just be what your new leader decides is important to that person at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So you want all the input you can get from citizens and from business owners and from anyone near the community, even outside of it. Your department heads, all that jazz. So, that's just what I'm proposing, so. Number 5, the appointment of the engineering firm. East Newton has tasked us with discussing their wastewater plans. The school, when we've discussed this in the past, the school is under DNR's direction, no, EPA. DNR, okay, sorry. DNR's direction stated they need to get rid of their lagoon, and they need to hook up to a local sewer system. So the council discussed this in the past, said, yes, go ahead and put out those requests for qualifications. We received 3 proposals, one from Alger Martin and Associates, one from OWN, and one from, I'm gonna butcher this name, Horner Schifrin. And we were told in order to qualify for the grants that are going to be out there through DNR, they needed to be scored as far as their qualifications. They were scored today by Victor, myself, and Lana. And the scores came up with OWN at 59 out of 60, OWN at 59, Alger Martin and Associates at 55, and Horner Schifrin at 50. You guys have all seen their request for qualifications. It is this council's task to vote in which one you want to put on the job. But like I said, they were scored, and that's just so you know that is the scoring.
And this is no cost to the city. The grant will cover 100% of the engineering firm to look into the feasibility to see if it's even feasible to run a sewer, whether it's a pressure line or whatever out there. So it's really no cost, it's just a chance for us to look into it and see if it's even feasible.
Yeah, we had a meeting again with them on Tuesday where they went through all the steps of the grant writing, and we did clarify again that this is 100% grant, and they said yes.
And even if it did move forward, it's 100% grant for construction too. So if it did even move forward to that second phase or the final phase, it's 100% grant. Thought it can't hurt to go through it, kind of help the school out, to see if it is feasible for them.
Is that all the way to East Newton?
Yes,
Yes.
that would be all the way to the high school. Yeah, it's, their options were create their own wastewater plant out there or hook up to us.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm sorry, what was
Can they build that to where housing wants, on the way out there, wants to hook on to it, they can?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. More money for the city. Yeah, more money for the city.
And with the new upgrades out there, I think, what was it, you could take on 800 more?
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to ask. I was like, what's this do to you and
We've
your,
got more than the capacity to handle the school and or any other housing that could potentially hook up to it. And then that's the other thing that the engineer's gonna look at, come down with the exact numbers and all that.
We've been questioned as to which direction it would go. There's a talk about going down 86, there's talk about going, is it Raccoon, is that what, okay. There is no specific plans. This will be designed by an engineer, so we aren't, of course, they'll ask questions and suggestions and stuff, but they are the ones that come up with that design, not us.
so I make a motion that we go with the highest rated engineering firm on there. Is it OWN? OWN for the engineering plans for the sewer project for East Newton.
Okay, Dustin has made the motion to go with OWN for their qualifications for the East Newton wastewater protection, or I'm sorry, East Newton wastewater program. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Doreen has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. And you will send in the score sheets and the, okay, and then we'll need a copy of those minutes sent in to them too, correct? I believe. Okay. They did a really good job. Claire Wynn did a great job of lining all that out for us. Okay. All right. Number 6, closed session, legal matters.
I make a motion we go into closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.0211, legal matters.
Second.
Okay, Doreen has made the motion to go into closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.021, legal matters. And Dustin has seconded that. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Okay, we are going into closed session at 7:17.
Please, oh Lord, let it not be like last time.
came in and got your number the other day. No. This would be great for us if we could get closer. 'Cause right now we're driving so many miles. No, I mean, we used to haul over there and Stan. Yeah, it was just like, oh, so it's not, and a lot of times I think we didn't get line and stuff, so, and then we started pulling out the jeans and everything. It was that good. But he had his all. They have line if it needs it. And then that's it. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, different than green they are. Used to a lot of stuff. It's crazy. I used to years ago, but yeah. As long as snow on the ground.
Oh, I'm gonna look up prices, look up prices for brakes. And if we wanna flip them, we borrow the slash first, it's something established in the area, and we can go there. But my goal is to get something started.
Sure, plans been approved over the years.
I know, but we had to go down.
I think that's what it was, just 30 goes. Ken Chandler was a good guy out there. He used to like to pick rain, he's like, that's good. He didn't listen to nobody. Yeah, no. It's always rain, listen to nobody. You good?
I know the one across that, senior center, they got out there,
I thought I saw your seat for a second. I was like,
I
what am
busted all the black off the bottom of the chairs except for yours. Yours is the only one that's messed up.
I took care of a bunch of this one, I know, over the years.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we come back to open session?
I'll second.
Okay, Doreen has made a motion to come back into open session. Bobby has seconded that. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 We are coming back into open session at 7:37. Discussion was made about some legal matters. No votes were taken. We're going to move on to public comment time. Do we have any signed up for public comment? Okay, come on up, Martin. Did you get a chance to read because you came in late?
Go ahead, and essentially, it's just like elections, it's just.
No, I'm asking you a question. Did you get a chance to read our guidelines when you came in late?
Essentially, what happens is that they could.
Okay, I'm going to start the timer. Hold on just a moment, please. It's a yes or no on that one, sir. Give me 1 second. I got to set it for 3 minutes. Okay, it's set. Go ahead, sir.
I went ahead, sent to you, and I got, kicked off of, Randy idiots, lots of views.
Which agenda item are you addressing?
Essentially,
specifically?
the memorial for Judge White, pretty well, I pointed out to you, was that like in 2003, there's a vacancy in the office of the municipal judge. If it's going to be more than 6 months, you have to hold.
Okay, is this a memorial question? Not an election question. We are not discussing the position of the judge this time. We will discuss that at the next meeting. This one right here is discussing a memorial for Judge White.
Are you going to go ahead and hold a special election according to law?
Does this have to do with memorial for Judge White?
Sounds to me like you're trying to weasel out of, trying to go ahead and justify an answer you don't.
I don't need to answer that. I only answer agenda items. As I've explained, we have guidelines.
I know what happens is that generally this is why this is such a farce. By going ahead and declaring something irrelevant, you go ahead and interrupt or people.
You're welcome to discuss it at the next agenda. We do have it scheduled to put on August 22nd agenda. And you feel free to share any of your information. Feel free to share your concerns outside of this right now. I will discuss this outside of here, if you'd like.
I've read a few other things, and essentially it seems like Bill 933 is essentially a bogus tax to go against my property.
Does this have anything to do with the memorial for Judge White or anything on our agenda, sir?
From what I gathered, Judge Steve White went ahead and gave me the idea of that, and essentially, I would say that pretty well just allowing crookedness and grant me is going to be a memorial.
Thank you for sharing your opinion on that.
Do I have any more time, or have you?
It'll be, you got 48 seconds.
48 seconds.
Mhm.
Well, usually it's pretty well wasted here on that here. Pretty well, I was reading the paper, and I went ahead and looked at, your recent thing on the news.
Does this state anything about Judge White, sir?
From what I gathered, Judge White said he went to a meeting, and pretty well went ahead and gave you people the idea of how to do it.
Did he give us the idea for his memorial?
Well, generally, you don't want to have my idea of what sort of moral I would go ahead with you, but in any case, his behavior, in collusion with the city, should go ahead and justify his suitable reward.
Okay, thank you for your time. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to dismiss.
Second.
Okay, Doreen has made a motion to dismiss. Dustin has seconded that. All those in favor? 4-0. We're dismissing at 7:41.